find my notes now.
I'll be able to edit this. I'm just starting the track now.
Yeah, Morty.
You'll forget about that until you have to edit it, and you'll go back and go, fucking...
So, do you have your notes?
Yeah, I've got my notes.
Hang on, I have my notes.
Alright.
So, should we just, start it?
Yeah, we don't know what the name of the podcast is.
Hi. Wait, Zach, I'm trying to do a thing. Hi, welcome to our podcast with Brooks and Zach. We don't know the name of it yet, but, the name you see on the feed it's that one.
Well, that's going to be, very anticlimactic, because we're just going to pitch ideas back and forth. And then somewhere along the line, people are going to hear the name of the episode. They'll go, oh, that's what they decided. But
and then everything after that is just going to be
mouth vomit.
Yeah. Isn't, just vomit?
That brings me to the first suggestion of the name.
Okay.
Mouth vomit. Alright, I'll scrap it.
Okay, do you want to, alternate it? Because first order of business, we might as well, decide the name.
Right. Okay, so, you go ahead, Brooks.
Okay.
You go first.
First one is the Popcast with Brooks and Zach. Because, pop culture in a podcast. It's a name that's been used by a lot of people, so we're not going with it.
Alright, I've got the Rooster Teeth podcast, kind of following this. I think we might have to fight for that one, but I'm confident that...
we have better lawyers, right?
Yeah, I've got, Homeless Joe out in the back. He fought me for a turkey leg once. I'm pretty sure he'll fight for... It's the next one.
Please, continue. You seem like you have more than me.
I've got, 6.
I have, 5.
And about 5 of them are jokes. I'll let you decide which ones are jokes. We got fedora friends. I've got 2 matching fedoras.
Well, we're both wearing them right now, as far as the audience knows. So it fits.
And now I'm going to do a standing backflip. There we go. That was perfect.
Wow, that was amazing. Hang on. Isn't it my turn?
Yeah, go ahead.
Brooks and Zach, 100 years?
100 years, Brooks and Zach.
100 years, Brooks and Zach.
It's always different. We always have to keep changing the IP.
Well, the thing is, if we go with that one, we're going to be at a bit of a commitment.
For 100 years.
If we don't do this for 100 years, people are going to talk shit about us.
So and once we get to the 101st year, there's just one last podcast, and we're just like, fuck you, and then that's the end of it. We're just like, wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, but, we don't really have to worry about that, though, because no one's going to listen to the podcast.
Correct. All 4 people who will ever listen to it immediately clicked on it, listened to the first 10 seconds, went, oh, fuck, these voices.
And 2 of those were us.
You're not wrong. All right, I got the next one. All khakis, no slackies. It was 3 a.m. when I thought of this one. And I was like, what would be something funny to say? It's hey, did you listen to All Khakis, No Slackies? Yeah, I did. All right, good.
Okay, I'm actually wearing khakis right now, so that's neat.
Keep them off. That's a late night podcast.
We're introducing Creepy Zach, right off the bat.
Well, you're going to be seeing a lot of him.
Oh, ooh.
A lot more of him later.
Oh God.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, jeez.
What the fuck? Are they dying up there?
Hang on. I will edit this part out.
Okay.
Alright, so my dogs are insane, and there's no way I can guarantee they won't do that again.
So we'll just be in mid-sentence, and all of a sudden there will be a jump cut. It'll be like, yeah, so I went to the deli the other day, and that's how my grandpa died. What?
We just a whole section there. Okay, so I think it's my turn.
Yeah, because I said all khakis, no slackies.
Yeah.
I'm putting a pin in that one. I kind of like that one.
Okay. My next one is anime ? And if you can see, I'll try to hide the other 2, but you can see it.
Anime ? Okay, so it's the actual word
so
question mark.
The question mark, the physical question mark is there, so you know how to say question mark. How you know how to say it.
But you have to say question mark.
Yeah, the words question mark are included after anime, because we don't know.
Okay, I've also got another one following the alliteration. Basement bras.
Oh.
You can either be like the bra that you wear, or like bra, like surfer.
Well, which one to go with, though?
Well, I mean, we do both all the time.
Yeah.
Wait.
Okay,
Ahead.
next one. This one is one of my favorites. It's a bit wordy, but I think it's worth it. Open up that garbage can. What's inside? This podcast. 'Cause we're trash.
Do you think you can get a whole, like, username dedicated?
Yes!
Well, I'm checking right now, and we got it. Alright,
We've registered the domain name.
Well, and we can also go with something obscure, like what I have written down. Like, you know how there are bands names that are just like, garbage lettuce doorknob.
They're my favorite.
Garbage lettuce doorknob is
Yeah.
your favorite?
Yeah, they have some good, like, albums, but their latest was kind of shit.
Alright, so
They sold out.
So I got this one, again, around 4 or 5
Mhm.
a.m. I don't sleep.
Mhm.
And I chose $3 on my keys.
What?
$3 on my keys. And we can call it the TDK podcast. Yeah? Because people are
I
going,
don't know if this is the joke one or not.
well, I'm sad now.
Okay, here's my last one. Let's talk some stuff and shit and movies and shit. Let's do it, baby.
That's the whole thing?
That is the whole thing.
Alright. I've got 3 more.
Okay, just
I'll just
rapid fire.
lightning round.
Lightning round.
Alright, America can't handle this. Fuck you, Brooks. That's one. And intoxicatingly sober.
Huh.
You see, you got a nice.
I like none of those.
You like none of those.
I like all of them.
What? Do you...
Okay, so I'm very conflicted about it. Can I just like look at your list?
Sure, go
on
ahead.
your phone?
Don't scroll up though, because that's my other notes.
Oh God, I didn't read any of them.
Just reading the notes and that's all.
$3 on my keys. The Dark Knight. That's what I think of whenever I see TDK. 'Cause we're nerds.
Well, you're the nerd.
Did we say what this podcast is about?
No.
Okay, so whatever we name, my name's Brooks.
We should have started with this.
Why did we not start with? They'll know like 8 minutes in. I'll cut a bit out for when my dogs were barking.
All right.
You are, what's her name?
You keep hitting the table.
I'm trying not to.
See that giant spike right there?
There's a yes.
There's a slight incline, and then it goes up.
The spike is my voice because I'm very loud, just all out of the time. So introduce yourself.
All right, I'm Zach, and that is Brooks, who just won't stop talking.
Oh God.
We decided that the best place to just randomly start a podcast would be in a basement,
Oh,
just
yeah.
below a bunch of dogs.
It's not a bunch of dogs. It's 2 dogs.
Two dogs from hell.
2 very loud dogs. You see, like, the whole thing behind this is I listen to a podcast called The Weekly The Weekly Planet.
Right.
And it's this really great podcast with 2 guys in Australia talking about nerdy stuff. And they've always said whenever their listeners ask, hey, how do you start a podcast? They're just like, if you want to do a podcast, just do it. So that's what we're doing.
You literally texted me 2 days ago, like, you want to make a podcast?
I'm just like, yeah.
What should we do? He's like, I don't know, write some notes down and then we'll talk about it. I'm like,
Yeah,
all right.
that's basically what a podcast is. So we're going to be going with a nerdy slant, probably. I don't know. We may do a wrestling episode. We were talking about that a bit.
Just all wrestling.
An entire episode devoted to wrestling. So, like, in our quest to be the shitty American remake of The Weekly Planet, we will talk about movies.
No, we're not a remake. We're like a standalone film, like the Dragon Ball Z live action movie, or that
Dragon
Avatar,
Ball Evolution.
Yeah, or the Avatar: The Last Airbender movie by M. Night Shyamalan.
Both of them are awful.
They don't exist.
No. So, okay.
We're just like those.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know what the first manner of business is to discuss here.
Okay, so we're going to be talking movies, nerdy or pop culture related news, video games, the animes, question mark?
God damn it.
And other things,
Really
maybe comics.
Really hope that's not the name you choose. Question mark.
You have no control over
No, I
this.
don't. It'll just be the one time. Be like, hey, the first podcast is up. I'll go on SoundCloud and I'll just see you just actually hit the keyboard a bunch of times and it just doesn't say anything.
Gazafogba did. That's my favorite podcast.
Gazafogba did?
Yes.
I think we found our name.
Gazafogba did. Okay, so, like, I was thinking start with the news a bit.
Well, what's the
like,
news?
I don't know, some pop culture related news. So, what I'm going to do is completely disregard all of the things I just said and do some news not related to pop culture at all. So it's just like related to culture, I guess. I don't know, our culture is like a species. But I read this article that says there's like German scientists. I'm problem with words.
Just continue. Power through these word problems.
Okay, German scientists have confirmed that electromagnetic propulsion engine, claimed by some to be impossible, actually works. And they thought it was impossible because it broke one of the laws of physics.
Wait, we broke the laws of physics?
Well, hang on. Breaks the conservation of momentum law of physics, yes.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is either, but we broke it. Yeah, fuck the man.
The man is God in this sense. Fuck you, God. We made a law that... So what?
Good try.
What was that law of physics? Let me Google that.
Conservation of momentum law of physics.
Conservation.
This is what the podcast is going to be. Just
Fuck
us
it.
looking
That
stuff
is too
up.
many words for me to type, so I'm just going to
Never research anything. Never look anything up.
So, I don't know if I should share this, but I accidentally had like 3 other separate tabs open.
What were they?
Well, I can tell you what one of them is.
Hang on. Before we get into that, this podcast is explicit, as you can tell by the tag. We will be swearing and maybe talking about things that aren't for the children's.
All right, so is that the warning? Is that
yes?
It's a woman. It's just an anime woman. Question mark?
I'll cut that out. Maybe I won't. Okay.
Please don't.
Or
just...
Okay, continuing with the sciencey thing.
Go ahead.
It is propelled forward by microwaves, bouncing around inside a closed chamber. It will supposedly be able to get us to Mars in just 70 days, without using expensive rocket fuel.
Okay, I don't know anything about science, so I'm just going to try to summarize what you just said in my mind.
Yeah.
By attaching a bunch of microwaves to a rocket ship and turning them all on at the same time. We made, like, quantum energy powering rockets to just...
I don't think that's the correct use of the word quantum, but yes, essentially that's what's happening.
That was your problem with everything I said? Just the fact that I used quantum incorrect.
Look, we can get... If we're able to implement this, we can get to Mars in 70 days. The future is now, Zach.
I'm still waiting for the Oculus Rift to come out with that attachment that can make me actually feel what's going on in the game. See, I didn't actually say what I wanted. I just motioned it to you.
Yeah.
So
we don't want to go overboard with this kind of stuff because we know that we can.
And we probably will. Oh! Hold on. Wait, are you done with the science thing? Because I got something that's kind of related to the movies.
Okay.
Did we say we were going to talk about movies?
Yes.
Okay. So, in relation to that Suicide Squad movie trailer and all that stuff, it made me think of the Joker and how he has so many goons all the time.
Yeah.
Does he have, like, an interview process for them?
Yes. Didn't you see it in The Dark Knight?
What did he do?
He had that scene where he, like, this one guy... Oh, my dogs. God, shut up.
Should we just pause for a second?
I'll cut this out.
Okay.
Or keep it in if it's funny.
So you're cutting it out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm cutting it out. Can't have anybody over without the dogs going batshit insane.
It's hilarious because your dogs are only like 4 inches tall on a good day. Which reminds me of something else. But
Hang on.
we should
Wait, before we get into that. Have you seen The Dark Knight?
Which one?
That was the Joker one.
I remember seeing it, and I remember Heath Ledger as the Joker and how crazy he was. but I don't remember an interview section where the Joker was dressed up in a business suit and interviewing.
He's always in a business suit, except
God
that
damn,
time
you're
when
right.
except that time when he's not.
And he's in a nurse's outfit.
Yes. It was the scene where, like, Spawn, the guy who played Spawn, was a gangster, and he wanted Joker dead for reasons. I guess because of the pencil thing. Maybe it was, like, he really liked the guy that he killed.
Or he really liked that pencil.
Or he really liked the pencil, and it disappeared. It disappeared, and no one knows where it went. So... It was that scene, like, shortly after where, like, guys come in and they're just like, hey, we killed the Joker, and he's just like, we brought the body. So he brings the body, puts it on the pool table, and he's just like, oh, okay. And then the Joker jumps up and he's like, surprise! And then he, like, does his why so serious speech, and he kills him. And then he's just like, you know, we're always recruiting people. So he takes, he sees, like, the Spawn's henchman, and he just breaks the pool cue, and he's just like, so we're gonna have some tryouts. And he just throws him down, and, like, he's just like, okay, make this fast, and he leaves. And then we don't see what happens. But we assume that one of them made the team.
But he doesn't, like, give them his contact information or anything.
I'm sure he'd give the survivor his contact information.
So wait, all you're saying is that I need to get into a fight with the death?
Fight with the death?
Fight to the death.
Neither of us are good at words today, which was a bad thing, because today is podcast day.
Well, on podcast day, nonetheless. But you're saying that if I fight to the death with somebody and I emerge victorious, I get a job. A high-paying job, kind of, because of all the crime that happens.
In the Batman universe, that's literal. In our universe, it's metaphorical.
So you're saying I should go fight Homeless Joe?
Yes.
All right. I'll be back after the podcast, though. We gotta...
Yeah, let's save it. So, okay, I didn't do a lot of research because I woke up, like, an hour ago.
And it's not noon, almost. You should be awake.
I went to bed at 3 and I fell asleep at 4.
I don't go to bed.
Okay, this other thing is also related to the pop cultures. Channing Tatum is supposedly leaving the Gambit movie.
Why?
I don't know.
For a second, when you said Channing Tatum, it made me think of Ryan Reynolds, and I was like, "Oh man, I loved him as Deadpool."
Deadpool's already finished filming.
Wait, it's all done?
Maybe. I don't know. That is something I pulled out of my ass right there.
Okay.
I know it's been filming. It could very easily still be filming.
I heard that for the Deadpool movie, they're getting rid of his schizophrenia.
Are they?
Yeah, they're just making it so he can break the fourth wall.
But neat.
Yeah, but I don't know. I kind of like schizophrenic Deadpool because that's kind of what makes him Deadpool.
Yeah.
I mean, other than being a cynical asshole all the
time. Yeah. And, you know, you got the swords.
How long has this Gambit movie been?
Look, people have been talking about a fucking Gambit movie for, like, years. Like, I think ever since, like, after X-Men 3.
Was that the one where he was in the bar?
No, that's the worst X-Men movie, X-Men Origins Wolverine.
That was it. That was the only one I saw other than Future Past.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, Future Past is really good.
Wait, and the one with the Phoenix?
Yeah, that's the third one.
Okay.
So you saw two of the... Well, I've always thought X-Men 3 was okay. It wasn't, like, bad. Origins with Wolverine is bad. That was a bad movie.
Yeah.
But, yeah, ever since, like, I think it was even, like, before that, they've been talking about a fucking Gambit movie, which I don't understand, because Gambit is, like, it's Jack Sparrow syndrome, where he's a really interesting character, but only in the supporting fashion. He's not really protagonist material.
No, he's got, like, that personality where you're like, alright, this is Gambit. He doesn't really have any character to him.
He throws cards.
He doesn't just throw cards.
He throws exploding cards.
He throws things that explode because of the kinetic and potential energy.
And then he wants to date Rogue, which is impossible. Tragedy.
Why is it impossible?
You know?
Well, yeah, I know she takes the powers from somebody.
Well, they die.
Do they die?
Oh yeah, you haven't seen the first two movies.
No, because like all I know about Rogue is that like she touches them and she gets their powers, and
She held on to Miss Marvel for an hour and then put her in a coma for a decade.
What? Why would you hold on to somebody for an hour?
Look, don't you... Like, oh yeah, I forgot. You don't really know that much comic books.
Yeah, I mean, the only comic book I've read was Injustice, and I'll talk about that.
Right, okay. Like, our nerdiness is like a Venn diagram. There's some in-between crossover, but there's a lot of stuff on each side that we know that the other person doesn't know.
And then there's the separate bubbles on each side of the Venn diagram, apart from those two bubbles that intersect. And those are the taboos that we never talk about.
Yes, those are the things that we've decided collectively as the two of us to not discuss.
Ever.
So...
Back to Rogue.
Rogue, when she was introduced, it was either when she was introduced or after she was introduced. She started out as a villain. And she was able to steal powers from mutants. And she fought, and like other superpowered people, of course. Right. And she fought Carol Danvers, which is the current Captain Marvel, who was Miss Marvel back at the time, because, 80s. I don't know.
Woman of power. I don't know.
She had a power suit.
Wait, Captain Marvel was, like...
Captain Marvel was a dude.
Like, I thought that...
For, like,
but
years.
Miss Marvel and Captain Marvel aren't the same?
No. Well, they are now.
Then what's that movie coming out later that's...
Captain Marvel... Look, okay, so it started out there was just Captain Marvel.
Yes.
And then no.
What?
Wrong one.
Yeah, that's the right one.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
Look, Marvel has a different Captain Marvel than Shazam.
Shazam is Captain Marvel.
Well, he was, but... Okay, shut the fuck up. I gotta explain this. So, it used to be that, like, there was DC and Marvel and a bunch of other comic book companies with a lot of different, like, properties.
Right.
And an independent comic company owned Captain Marvel, who you know today as Shazam.
Billy Batson.
Yes, the Billy Batson character.
Shazam. Captain
Marvel. And Shazam was he was Captain Marvel, and he was eventually bought by DC. And the thing was, when DC bought Captain Marvel and everything, like, that was at a time when Marvel was introducing their own Captain Marvel, because, they're Marvel. Why not have a character called Captain Marvel?
Okay.
So, and then there was this huge lawsuit, and eventually they had to change Captain Marvel to Shazam. So, Marvel has their own Captain Marvel.
Okay.
Yeah. And then they had him for a while. He was like an alien, I think. I don't know. I know more comic book stuff than the average person, but I don't know, like, a lot.
You have a vast knowledge of approximate things.
Yeah, I have approximate knowledge of many things.
That was it.
Yeah,
Adventure Time.
I haven't seen a lot of Adventure Time. I gotta catch up on that.
It's really good.
Okay, so, and then they introduced Miss Marvel as, like, a sort of, like, companion to Captain Marvel, and then everyone's just, like, over time realized, oh, wait, Captain Marvel's lame, but Miss Marvel's a really good character. So eventually they phased out Captain Marvel and just made Miss Marvel the real Captain Marvel. And now they have a new Miss Marvel.
But she doesn't say Shazam.
No.
What does she do?
She punches people.
So she's Superman? Supergirl?
Yes.
Oh, that's...
But, I think I don't know a lot about Captain Marvel, but I think she also has some cosmic powers. Because, like, alien.
Cosmic powers.
Okay, so... What the fuck? Rogue. Rogue, when she was a villain,
right?
She was able to, hold on to people, and she could only keep the powers for a while, for limited time, and everything. But, she found out that the longer she held on to people, the longer she was able to use the powers.
Okay.
And so, in a fight with Miss Marvel, she just grabbed onto her and held on to her for a long time. And then eventually Rogue was able to permanently get the powers of flight and super strength, and Miss Marvel was put in a coma.
Permanently?
Yes.
So, all she has to do is hug somebody for an hour.
And put them in a coma.
Okay, so
I feel like the only reason she didn't die was because she was Miss Marvel.
Okay, well, there goes that plan. Well, think about it. Like, you could have some rockin' times with Rogue, if you get what I'm saying. Because she just has to be all up on you, because she just wants to take your powers.
Right.
And she's not bad looking. So you just you're just doing your thing with her, and then you're just like, ugh, I'm gonna have to wake up in the morning, and then there's gonna be that awkward exchange where she's getting out of bed and I'm getting out of bed.
Yeah, except the thing where you don't wake up in the
Exactly.
morning.
That's the best part. She's gone. She does whatever she wants. I age 10 years. I wake up like, and then I'm ready to go again.
Yes. So, we were talking about the Gambit movie, and how there's, for years, been a Gambit movie, and there's a chance that now it may not happen.
Okay.
And that was the news.
That was it?
That was it.
I mean, it's not too bad of a loss. I mean,
No.
because to me, Gambit, again, that's why I brought up Deadpool before, is he's kind of like Deadpool, except he's not as crazy as Deadpool's. He's just like, yeah, I'm cool. Slide, Indiana Jones.
Is that your Cajun accent?
Yeah. What is a Cajun accent?
I haven't... Look, I watched enough X-Men cartoon to, like, have a rough idea of what a Cajun accent is.
The old X-Men cartoon?
Yeah. Okay, but I can, like, at no point in time will I be able to do a Cajun accent.
So do a Cajun accent right now.
I'm from the Cajuns.
No, just as a comparison, do a German accent.
I'm from the Germanys.
Okay. Now here might be a difficult one. You nailed the last two. Try the Russian accent.
I'm from the Russias.
Oh, perfect. 10 out of 10 right there. You did it. You did it, Brooks.
I think that's a ripoff of, like, a Weekly Planet bit when they do accents, and it's essentially that.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I haven't seen the Weekly Planet.
You should listen to it.
You keep telling me to.
Yeah, we are the shitty American remake of them.
I don't even think we're a remake. Don't we have to have a plan and, gimmicks that
No.
are similar to them?
No, we don't.
Put the knife away, Brooks. Alright, I trust you.
Okay, so...
Okay, so I'm just, scrolling through my notes real quick. And I have one in here. You might have to censor it, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Okay.
So my brother came up to me the other day, and he just, whispers in my ear, and he's just like... And I'm like... So you want to talk about that, or is that just a censor? That just
I kind of, part of me doesn't want to talk about it. The part of me is like, let's talk about that in our real lives and not in the podcast.
All right. And then we'll talk about it in the podcast at a different time.
Yes.
When we've warmed up.
We can reference it, and people will forever wonder, what was that bit that I cut out?
Forever.
Yes. All 4 of the people who listen.
Man, I'm going to be so happy when those 4 people send us a message. I mean, sure, the message is going to say, stop making podcasts. God damn. It's just nothing but horrible stuff. But
at the same time, it's an acknowledgement.
Yeah, it's like, oh, they did see it. I mean, sure, it's a death threat right next to it, but still. Speaking of death threats, did you hear about how Half-Life 3 is confirmed, but it is probably not going to be made?
Excuse me?
Okay.
Okay, explain.
So, Valve...
Goddamn dogs. Okay, I will be right back.
Alright, I'll wait. So wait, you haven't heard of Half-Life 3?
I've heard of Half-Life 3.
Well, I know you've heard of...
I'm aware of its existence.
Or lack of.
Lack thereof. So, I had to put the dogs outside. We'll probably still be able to hear them, but it shouldn't pick them up as well.
Alright, it's just... Yeah, the small dogs that can't fend for themselves, they'll be outside.
Don't worry, they're in their crate.
In their crate outside.
Yeah. Desperate times call for desperate measures. So, you were talking about Half-Life 3.
Right. So, yeah, it is confirmed. Valve people have said, yeah, we worked on it. We got the whole script done. We were in the process of making the game. We know what we need to do to make it. But we don't have to make it. Because
loophole.
Because Steam is generating so much revenue from all their games, from the third party they're getting from everything, and just all the DLC, whatever, the words.
Yeah.
What else do they generate money from?
I don't know. Mods?
Yeah, that might be. No, but yeah, all the money they're making, they're just like, yeah, we don't need to make Half-Life 3. And that's not all. They realize Half-Life 3 has ungodly expectations.
Yes.
And they feel like, hey, if we don't meet these expectations, people are going to hate us. Just like what they did for Mass Effect 3. People were so hyped with Mass Effect 1 and Mass Effect 2, and then the third one came out.
Well, the thing about Mass Effect 3 was that most of the game lived up to people's expectations. It was the very, very, very end that didn't.
Yeah, but because of that, the producers of that game, or whatever, got a bunch of death threats and stuff.
True.
Yeah, so Valve was like, yeah, if we don't have to make it, we might as well save ourselves this heartache and not make it. Because I remember one specific quote that was said. If Half-Life 3 came with a free blowjob, people would complain that it didn't cup the balls correctly. And I'm like, it's kind of right. So until we can start being better people, I don't think we're going to get Half-Life 3.
No.
So Half-Life 3 confirmed, but not confirmed.
Yeah, true. Okay, I'm out of news stories. Do you have any other news stories?
Oh, sure. I can check for news stories.
I like how I was the one who, brought this podcast into existence, and you're the one who did any amount of preparation for it.
I've got anime ? News, but...
Okay, we're trying to cover a broad spectrum. I will be the audience in that I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, so you haven't heard of Psycho-Pass, correct?
I have heard of Psycho-Pass because you told me about Psycho-Pass.
I made you watch it, didn't I? How much of it did I make you watch?
A few episodes.
Alright, perfect. Because the movie of it came out, which is a sequel to the series. And it just finally came out with English subtitles. And I saw that it came out a couple days ago.
I like how you did the very
I was choking a child from how excited I was.
Yeah,
listen to me!
Because both of us, the audience won't be able to tell, but both of us often talk with our hands.
Oh, it's like we're Italian.
Yeah.
Hey, no, but I don't know.
Surprise!
I know you get like this, and I know I get like this, but I'm going to say it so they know we get like this. When we find something that we're really, really excited about, we don't care if the other person doesn't have any idea what it is.
Yes.
We'll need to talk about it too.
Yes.
Because you'll be telling me something about Monty Python or Star Wars or the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
And I go, yeah, and you're like, dude, but no, it's Dobby is really Dumbledore's father. And
that's a completely different franchise.
I did it on purpose. And then I'll come up to you and be like, yeah, Kogami worked for the American government. And he's like throwing.
He's like, yeah, they did.
I meant the Chinese.
Oh,
jeez. Well, that is a faux pas on my behalf. And just another note I put down so we can, I guess, end with this, since we're at 30-something minutes.
I had things to talk about.
Oh, you got things to talk about?
Yeah, I had things to talk about, non-newsy things.
I guess we gotta talk then.
Okay.
Go ahead,
wait, are you done? Was that the end of this news? Was that, was the fact that it came out, the...
That was news to me. I was, so happy that it came out. And it lived up to my expectations because, it wrapped up the whole story and it left room for more to blossom.
Okay, so I know nothing about, very little about anime and pretty much next to nothing about Psycho-Pass, but I heard that the second season was not good.
The second season is what the... Ooh, I'm trying to compare it to something I was going to say something about Avatar: The Last Airbender, but one, I already made a reference to that, and two, the entire animated series was great.
Yes.
It was
If you ever did what I said and watched Buffy, you would probably have an example to use right now.
Okay, how you keep saying... Wait, have you ever seen Supernatural?
I've seen part of the first season of Supernatural.
Okay. So, I'm going to compare it to Buffy, since you tell me a lot about Buffy.
Yes.
So, the first season of Buffy, you said, was just they're really trying to get
getting their footing.
Well, that's what the second season of Psycho-Pass was, because they wrapped up the first season beautifully, and they were like, oh, yes! Yes! But then the second season tried to make another villain who felt a little bit forced. His origin story, again, was a little bit... This doesn't really tie into anything before, and it kind of tried to make its own standalone thing.
Right.
Whereas, toward the very end of it, it had a great climactic finish. It was just blue balls and you all the way up, and then all of a sudden it's like, no. You're like, oh jeez! but then it kind of set you up for the movie. And the movie wasn't a letdown. And I imagine they're going to make a season 3 because you just need to see the Sybil system fall.
Right.
You don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means.
But I appreciate you going right.
Okay, so Psychopaths movie came out, not a disappointment.
Correct. If I could give it a rating, I'd give it a crime coefficient 360 out of 70.
Good. I was going to tell you that if we talk about movies or video games or anything and we have to give them ratings,
Correct.
like if we like watch a movie that comes out and do that, I don't want to have an actual rating system. I want it to be as nonsense as possible.
All right, so 2001 Space Odyssey.
Mm-hmm.
I give that 3 sandwich scenes out of 5. Because that sandwich scene in one setting, that was the best part of the movie to me.
Yay, jokes the audience will know. Well, in another episode, we'll maybe explain that one day.
Well, I mean, if they watch 2001 The Space Odyssey, they'll watch the whole movie, they'll go, what sandwich scene? And there'll be like a 5-second sandwich scene. Like, hey, what'd you get? Oh, no, I got tuna. And he just like takes a bite of it. And that's the end of the scene. But it was the best scene. Yeah.
You may anger some people when you say that.
Well, it was done well. Who am I angering? People who don't believe in film?
But something that we both liked, a movie that we both liked, was Ant-Man. We recently saw that. Not together.
I don't know.
You saw it with your family.
I mean, I didn't see it with I saw it with my family, and then I saw it again with another friend, and then I debated
was
seeing
as
it
good as a family.
Yeah, it was hand family.
Okay. So, and then I saw it with a few of the guys that we know.
The boys. All right.
So I know your thoughts, so I'll start with my thoughts. I really liked it.
Is that your thoughts?
Yes, that is my thoughts.
Okay, what did you like about it?
Well, the thing is, like, I will admit it did suffer from not having Edgar Wright. Because they had the whole thing with Edgar Wright, like creative differences and him leaving and everything.
Right.
And it shows,
he was the one that made Scott Pilgrim, wasn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, I could tell that.
Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and World's End. And he left before they started filming.
Oh.
Yeah, and it shows because, like, some scenes show his influence, others are just kind of more, like, generic in the way that they were filmed.
I think every dialogue scene, not every dialogue scene, but the ones when he was having with his friend, when he talked like this, man, what was his name? Do you remember his name? Anyway, his
racism?
Racism.
No, it's fine.
No, but it was when he was with the heist guys.
Yeah.
And every time he was like, yeah, so listen, so me and my boy, we were out by the painting, and, like, the way that whole scene went, like, I felt that was really natural and flowing and stuff. And I was like, this seems like it would be something that
Edgar
Wright would make, because it just, like, seeing that whole scene made me think of Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Right. Like, ha, this is making me laugh. That was probably one of my more favorite parts of the movie.
Yeah, like, the movie wasn't as funny as I thought it'd be, but I don't mind that. Like, I don't consider that a problem because it has, like, pretty consistent tone and everything. It's not like Guardians of the Galaxy where it's, like, wacky space fun the entire time. And I just thought it was, like, solid story. Villain kind of sucked, but he was alright.
Like, there were only, like, 3 things. I was just like, why did this happen? Because all of a sudden, he had the Wasp costume on. I was like, didn't you need to, like, either shrink down to that size or enlarge the Wasp costume?
That's true, and it was the Yellow Jacket. Wasp is the lady.
Then Killer Bee is going to be, what's her name, right?
Killer Bee?
Killer Bee is a villain.
Who's Killer Bee?
Killer Bee was in the Teen Titans.
That's DC.
You're DC. Alright, how am I don't know where the line is with these things.
Teen Titans is not owned by Marvel.
Okay, well that makes sense.
Because,
Robin.
Robin. Robin and Cyborg's on the Justice League now.
Okay, but that's who Killer Bee is. I'll Google her for you.
You don't have to. I know who you're talking about. She's in DC.
And I liked Killer Bee. And I was like, Dad, that's gonna be Killer Bee. He's like, Killer Bee? Who's Killer Bee? I was like, Dad, look, it's Killer Bee. It's not.
Your dad thought that you knew something about, like, the greater comics thing.
No, he just knew I was wrong.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's like, Zach, no, shut up.
It's Wasp.
I was like, no, it's a killer bee. Because she's deadly like a killer bee. And I like,
see, and it's killer in the name. That's so you know not to mess with her.
Because she slays. Killer. Rockin'. Like really trying. But he just stares.
Yeah, you're just trying to sell it.
But I really liked how Ant-Man himself, he was just like, he kind of had normal reactions to everything.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Because when the Pims were having like that breakthrough and stuff like, oh, Mama died. Like, he stood there because he didn't want to walk out, but he felt awkward enough to go, this is a touching moment.
It's sort of like that realistic thing that if there was a group of more than two people and like a moment like that happened, like they often do in movies, you know, it wouldn't cut away. That it'd be just like, well, I'm here too. So
it's like, hey, bet your mom was hot.
See, like, why do you have to bring it there? Anyway, there's this like thing that like I think is very true. This guy online who I follow named Linkara, he does a lot of comic book stuff.
What's his name?
Linkara.
Okay.
And he came up with like what's the major difference between DC and Marvel. And Marvel creates superheroes that you can relate to.
Okay.
And DC creates superheroes that you can look up to. And everything. And I think, like, Marvel, especially, like, the movies, well, especially the comics, but in the movies, they're doing it really well with the really relatable, like, heroes. Like Scott Lang, the Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked him a lot.
I think Paul Rudd was a good choice.
Yeah.
For that.
Because wasn't everybody kind of like, ugh, no, Paul Rudd, Ant-Man, huh?
No, I feel like no one really cared about Ant-Man. Like,
that's also why I thought the movie was good, because I had no expectations.
Right. Well, like, the thing was, like, only comic books people, like, would, like, going into the movie, like, be looking forward to an Ant-Man movie. And, like, the only, like, it didn't matter if Paul Rudd was attached or anything. The only thing anyone was looking forward to was the Edgar Wright thing. So, people were even more skeptical once he left.
So, what rating would you give this movie?
I'd give it, a tiny little ant out of a slightly big dog-sized ant.
Okay, I'd give it a killer bee out of 10.
It was funny. I saw it with our mutual friend Josh.
Right. Nicely dressed Josh?
Yes, nicely dressed Josh. We know, listeners, we know more than one Josh, so Zach came up with the name Well-Dressed Josh because he's always very well-dressed.
Well, I mean, it's not like he's well-dressed, he just always wears a suit jacket.
Oh, yeah.
Over, like, a mustard-stained t-shirt.
we love him, but he always looks very dirty.
All the time. It's the best.
Yeah. So we saw him, and he was sitting next to me in the theater when we saw Ant-Man, and at the end of it, when, spoilers, she had the little Cassie girl had, like, the dog, the ant dog, or whatever. He's just, like, he just leaned over to me, he's just like, don't ants only have a lifespan of, like, a few days? That dog's gonna fucking die. Yeah, I'm just like, oh, we can get more ants, you know?
Yeah, just grow them.
Yeah, just grow more.
But I was, it didn't click in my head the first time I saw the movie that I was like, oh, he can grow now.
Yeah. The rumor is, spoilers, potentially, well, it will say everything after this is spoilers, but potentially the rumor is that in Civil War, Captain America 3 Civil War, he's going to go Giant Man, which is Ant-Man's other personality.
Yeah. I wouldn't say personality.
Well,
I'd say
other,
ability.
it's like his, well, it's weird, they call him when he's small, they call him Ant-Man. When he's big, they call him Giant Man. They don't just call him, like, Ant-Man, you're big now.
Hey, big Ant-Man. No, I'm Giant Man now.
That's
B505.
Like, people would look at, like, people would just, like, see Giant Man walking around, and someone, like, just a normal schlub in the Marvel Universe will be like, hey, who's that guy? Because there's, like, 1,000 fucking superheroes. And he's like, so who's that guy? And then someone would be like, that's Ant-Man. And he's just like, that's a big fucking ant, you know?
You should see my dog.
But I thought it was a good movie, you know, fun. I like that it was on a smaller scale.
Right.
Yeah, like, not every movie has to be like the huge Avengers like dropping a city from the sky.
Well, that was pretty awesome.
That was awesome. I really liked Avengers: Age of Ultron. I liked it more the second time I watched it than the first time. Like first time was just like, it's pretty good. Not really. I didn't like the first one more, but second time watching, I'm just like, I may like this one a bit more. To be honest.
Yeah, Ultron was definitely a really good villain.
He was.
'Cause I don't know, something about like nice, calm villains who just explode in anger.
Like Kingpin.
Like Kingpin.
Also a really good villain.
Like in Daredevil. Kingpin.
Yes. Daredevil, I love Daredevil, that series. I love Daredevil, the character. I love Daredevil,
You
the series.
embarrassed me in front of her! That's my Kingpin.
You embarrassed me in front of her.
No, you gotta say it with your jowls.
Oh, with the jowls?
You embarrassed me in front of her!
I don't think Vincent D'Onofrio sounded exactly like that. You embarrassed me in front of her.
Yeah, that. Perfect.
Wesley. Spoiler.
That's it. That's the spoiler.
That's the spoiler. What was I talking about? Yeah. At first, people didn't like Ultron because he was funny, and they're just like, "Oh, Joss Whedon doesn't know how to write a character who isn't like making snarky remarks." But I noticed in the second time I watched it, like first time you watch it, you laugh a lot at what he says because it's the first time you're hearing the jokes.
Right.
Second time you watch it, you're just like, now that you know all the jokes, you're just watching it and you're just like, this guy, he's actually really menacing.
Like,
and everything.
Could you give me an example?
Well, he would just like, he would make those types of like smart remarks because he took on some of Tony Stark's personality and everything.
Right.
And he would be like, I don't remember a specific one. There was I think there was one when he took off of Gollum's arm.
Yeah.
And he might have said something,
and
you laughed at it.
Yeah, because he took it off, and he's like, "Oh God, I'm sorry."
Yeah, something like that, where it would be a joke like that, and then you laugh at it the first time, and you think, "Oh, he was kind of a more sillier villain," but then you watch it again, and you're just now that you know the jokes, and you're not laughing at him anymore, it's just this guy's he's really intimidating. He's really menacing. He is a giant 7-foot robot.
He's like Hades from the Hercules Disney movie.
I don't know.
Well, because I just remember reading a fact about this. Everybody went in and they were auditioning and playing Hades.
Oh yeah, I heard this. Yeah.
Hades. But then James Woods came in and he pitched Hades as a used car sales.
Yes.
And they're like, yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah, the thing is with that is James Woods, he loves playing Hades. He said, I will agree to play Hades in anything, which is why he's one of the few returning cast members in Kingdom Hearts and the Hercules show and everything. For anything, if he said, I will play this character for anything you ask me to because I love playing this character.
Yeah, he seems like a fun character to play.
Yeah.
Turn and cough.
So, yeah, we Ant-Man. We may do an episode where we just talk about the Marvel movies and everything in the MCU. We talked a little bit about Daredevil and how we like it. We'll probably go more in depth in a future episode.
No.
If we, run out of ideas.
Now, what about the best movie this month? Pixels.
Pixels.
I haven't seen it.
It was interesting because I have a group of friends. Josh is part of this. Tony is part of it as well. I'll have to get rid of this.
That was the one rule, Brooks.
The rule I established. Listeners, I established a rule where if we told personal anecdotes, we would not include last names, and I just included a last name.
You'll just have to make the beep boop.
I'll do the beep. So we have this friend in the group, Rick, and everyone else in the group is really into movies and everything. Mm-hmm. And Rick is also really into movies, but he is a fan of Adam Sandler movies and everything.
Right.
And we give him a hard time. And it was just this was at a time last night when I was super tired and trying to go to sleep. It was 4 a.m. when I sent this.
Okay.
And I received texts from Rick at 1:50 in the morning. Mm-hmm. And I didn't look at him, and then I looked at him at 4 o'clock, and I'm just So Rick said, like, he works at Burger King. So he's like, girl at BK said she misses me and wanted a hug from me. Oh yeah, she wants me to infect me with my love and fill her with my poison. That was one text. And then the next text was because, like, Tony was asking if we wanted to go to a movie today.
Can I read the other text? I just want to read it as Rick.
Oh.
Is it that long one right there?
Well, no, these are the two. I'm gonna read the long one that I sent after.
Okay. All right, so the girl at BK thing, or which one am I wearing?
Do you want to read all of it?
What, the whole BK thing?
Well, I already read the BK thing. You can read the thing under it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the thing under it's just asking if we want to go see Pixels.
Well, that's... You just left me with the scraps.
Well, the thing
you just ate the whole turkey dinner, and then he gave me the wishbone, and you're like, here, hope you can fill up on that.
Okay, and then this was when I was trying to go to sleep. It was 4 a.m., and I wrote out this entire text. Rick, there comes a point in time in a man's life when he can't sleep, so he's just sitting in bed at 4 a.m. and knows that if he checks his unread text messages, he's going to get the result that he expects. But part of him says, maybe it'll be different. Maybe he's changed. But the man is far enough in his life where he knows these things don't happen. There is no true good in the world. People don't change. People don't change. And when they do, it's always for the worse. We're all in a downward spiral until we grow old and irrelevant and finally die. The man is at a point where he knows this is his ultimate fate. He looks back at the temporary highs and the drawn-out lows. Having all this misery in his heart, he looks at his messages. He sees a short anecdote about a woman he isn't even sure exists. He reads over the half-thought-out innuendo and then rereads it in sheer disbelief to think that an actual human being was capable of saying that. What seems even more improbable is that the man reads an invitation to a soulless moving picture made by an old man who doesn't care for the things in life that bring joy and warmth and happiness. This invitation is presented to a group of friends who have time and time again expressed their opinions on this dying comedian and his fading work. This is, to the man, true insanity. The universe is random. There is no logic. There is no God. The inevitable heat death of all existence is drawing closer with each second the man spends staring at his phone screen. His hands tremble. His stomach turns. There is nothing he can do. He is in a pit, and he keeps sinking lower and lower with the futility of it all. With one last breath of willpower, sanity, and consciousness, he chokes out one last response to the nonsense. That response, immortalized in the shifting and permanent sands of our understandings, was simply... Quote, Rick, no one cares about a girl you want to fuck, and no one wants to see a movie about Adam Sandler fighting Donkey Kong. Rick, goddammit, I'm trying to go to sleep.
You wrote all of that at like 4 a.m.
Yes. And then, do you want to read... He sent a response today at 11:38. It's about noon right now, so this was like during the recording. And do you want to hear his response?
Sure.
What? I'm so supersonic. She wants to feel my powers and fill her with my lasers. My kiss is cosmic.
What?
I don't understand that, man.
I mean, I can understand what you said. Like, it was really dark at first. I was like, what the fuck? Brooks, is this how Adam Sandler makes you feel? Oh my god! And then all of a sudden, you just like start berating. Oh god. That is perfect. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that either.
No.
While you were reading that, I went up on Rotten Tomatoes and looked up what review it had, and it has a 18%.
Hey, I have an idea.
What?
We should go see it and then talk about it on this podcast.
Pixels?
Yes.
Is there any other horrible movie out right now?
Is there literally any other we can go to?
I will pay for your ticket.
But it involves...
We're seeing Dragon Ball Z. That's not a horrible movie. It's just a movie we're going to go see. And I'm excited for
Yes! We can talk about that next week. Maybe
Yeah.
save Pixels for later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that can be the next episode where we talk about the Dragon Balls.
We're going to have a backlog of this, though, aren't we?
What do you mean?
Like, we're going to try to get a bunch of episodes recorded. And then section them out, right?
No, we were going to do it on a weekly thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So next week is going to be DBZ?
Yeah. Next we'll
DBZ-themed episode next week.
Yeah!
So wait,
Podcast planning. Yeah.
So wait, what was the theme this week?
Introductions. Ant-Man. You know.
Whenever anybody says introductions, it just makes me think of getting that handout from a teacher that says, "All right, everybody, here you have to do your report papers and just follow this guideline." And the first thing you see on that paper, because you skip past like the little "here's what the paper's about" and stuff, it gives you the format, and that's introduction, ABC, 1, 2, 3, and then just like you keep going. And I don't know why. I guess it's because I really suck at writing essays.
Right.
But whenever I see that graph, I die on the inside. I'm just like, time to procrastinate, and then I got through one of my classes because I just paid someone to do all my work for me.
Really?
Yeah, that's a joke, so I can't get in trouble for it.
No, like, we haven't said your last name, so you could be literally any Zach.
Ever?
Yes.
Can I be Zach Galifianakis?
No.
I want to be successful, Brooks.
Why are you picking Zach Galifianakis?
Well, because he's successful in spirit.
Oh, okay.
Like...
I'll give you that.
Alright.
Okay. There was one other thing. This is probably going to be a short thing that I want to talk about. Batman video games.
Okay.
Okay.
Was that it? Good.
No. Like, I recently got a PS4 and Batman Arkham Knight.
I'm looking at it
Yeah,
right now.
you're looking at it right now. I've been playing through it. I finished the main story, but, like, something I sort of respect, but I sort of hate about the game, is that they don't give you the real ending until you've, like, 100% it, like, complete all the side missions and everything.
That's pretty cool.
I'm just like, yeah, that's pretty cool, but it also means I gotta collect all the fucking Riddler trophies.
Oh, you have to 100% the game?
Well, like, not, like, 100. Like, you don't have to do, like, the challenge maps or anything. You don't have to get all the trophies. You just have to complete all the side missions.
Okay. Well, that's not 100. That's not...
Yeah, that's not, like, 100. 100% the story.
Okay.
Not the game.
Alright.
But I gotta do that. I gotta collect the fucking Riddler trophies. So
I can't remember what literary device that is. To repeat something by describing it with itself. It's like saying, yeah, I don't like her. I like her like her. Or it's like, it's not 100, but it's 100. And you're like, what?
So, anyway, like, so the game's really good. It has problems and everything. It's not as good as Arkham City, but it's like a really fantastic game, I'd say. I'm just like, wow, the Batman Arkham games, they're really good. You wouldn't think that we'd ever get a good Batman game. Then I remembered to the past I played, like, what I thought was a good Batman game. I just kind of spoiled the eventual, like, realization there. But, so there was this game that came out in the early 2000s called Batman Vengeance.
Okay.
It was based on the animated series.
Okay.
And it was in the style of it and everything. And I thought, hey, I remember that game. I'll try playing it again now that I've played the Arkham games. Because before Batman Arkham Asylum came out, some people would say that Batman Vengeance was the best Batman game ever made.
I don't know.
Some people would argue with that. But, so I'm just like, oh, I'll play it. I'll, like, try it out again, see how it holds up. Guess what it doesn't do?
Hold up?
Yep. It is just the worst.
Really?
Yeah.
How about, what kind of game style was it? Like, was it, like, attempting to be the same thing as Arkham Origins or City?
Arkham, okay, so basically, Arkham, like, Batman Vengeance.
Yeah, is it like Superman 64, like, compare it to a different game?
It's not that bad.
Okay.
Because it was good at the time.
Well, Superman 64 is the greatest game of all time. But go ahead.
We should play that sometime.
Oh,
We
God.
should play that, then talk about it on the podcast.
We'll do it live.
Yes.
Streaming.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
That was the joke, Brooks. I'm glad you got it.
That was an old joke.
Very good.
That was Bill O'Reilly.
Let's give a rousing golf clap.
Okay, so Batman Vengeance is a game.
Another hole in one.
Okay, so Batman Vengeance is a game that's basically, imagine Arkham Asylum, the style of it, the third-person type, you brawler, along with some sneaky stealth and everything. Just imagine that, but, like, way shittier.
So, like, graphics-wise, controls-wise?
All of it.
Oh.
All of it.
All of it.
All of it.
All of them?
All of them? Okay, so, like, it has this thing where it's in the style of the Batman the Animated Series, but it's like a 3D version of it.
Okay.
So it looks kind of shitty nowadays, especially. Everything, like the environment's all very blocky, and everything is like all very block squarey buildings and environments that you go around. Batman in it it's hard to describe, but he has a really weird run.
Okay.
Like he doesn't run like a normal human being.
Right.
Because it's that Bruce Timm style of animation. It's like the blocky caricature that looks really good in animation, but when you try to translate it to video games, when they're actual blocks moving around, he has this weird thing where, audience, you won't be able to see this, but he runs and his arms move like this. Literally, like flat, hands are flat, out to the sides, in like a pyramid thing, back and forth.
So like this. A Titan from Attack on Titan.
No, not even that. It's like a Titan would be like this.
Yeah, with its arms
with its arms like this. I mean like a pyramid. Like it's a pyramid that he runs like this.
Like he's trying to take off, like he's making an up.
Yeah, it looks like he's trying to do a cape glide when he's running, and he pumps his arms back and forth. And then he just, like, in the whole game, he just moves weird. Like, when you like glide, you can cape glide, and when you glide to like the edge of a building,
right,
and you grab onto it, he has this weird pop-up sort of jump onto it that looks really like exaggerated and everything. He doesn't just like climb up like in the Arkham games.
Oh, okay.
And everything. He has this weird thing like when you go up to a ladder and you gotta climb a ladder. You press a button to climb the ladder, and he like does like a quick like he takes like a step back.
Mm-hmm.
And then he just jumps onto the ladder and does the pyramid arms on it. And it's really funny.
At the time, it was probably good.
Yes.
Yes.
I would even say, I was playing a bit more of it, like, yesterday and today. And I was just like, I was about to say, it's still kind of fun. But then I stopped myself from saying that because I remembered playing it. And it's just,
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. We should play that.
We're just playing a lot of things now.
Yes. We have a lot of movies to watch, a lot of video games to play.
Oh, goodness.
All this stuff.
That can make you watch anime.
Yes. Like, if an anime thing comes out, and
Dragon Ball Z?
I like Dragon Ball Z.
But that's the only one
That is the only one. I like Trigun, too.
Trigun was good.
Trigun was really good.
Then you like Cowboy Bebop.
I haven't finished Cowboy Bebop. I want to watch all of it.
Yeah.
Before I form an opinion. But what I've seen from it, I really like. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We're men.
Yes, we are. We're manly men. Or are we? You don't know.
I think our voices may tip them off.
Maybe we're just excellent voice actors.
Oh, good one.
Yeah, if there's ever an anime thing and you want to talk about on the podcast, I will be legally obliged to...
Legally?
Legally.
Right, that contract we signed in blood.
Yeah.
There wasn't any writing on that contract, we just
cut
our hands and
we were sorting through a bunch of papers and we cut our hands open and one of the papers got a bunch of blood on it. So we just kind of wrote contract on it. It's like, okay, now we can just say whatever. Like, all of the rules to the podcast that are, like, in the ether that we will ignore
pull out.
Yeah, we will choose to either ignore it or pull it out depending on the situation.
Right, and we'll just get white out the contract. It's the only copy we have with our blood.
Yes.
So we will have to treat that one carefully.
Well, it's like a blank document, so we can... But the audience, like, doesn't know that, so we can just say, it, like, it's...
They do know it now.
Well, shut the fuck up. We can say that it has whatever we want on it.
And it does.
Yes.
For now.
Yes.
Until I contractually obligate it to not.
Yeah.
Those are words I said.
Yes. Okay, so we talked about a few things. What's the time?
About
an hour?
Minutes. So,
like, there's a few things we had to cut out, but I think that's a solid time for a first episode.
I do as well.
Some episodes may go longer, some may go shorter. I don't know. Life's a river.
Life's a river. I'm flowing through it. Hopefully I can grab one of vine before we get to the waterfall. Oh, God, we're already here. Oh, the vine snaps. I can't... Oh, catch me, Brooks.
And depression. It's all a metaphor. It's all downhill from here.
Oh, the Great Depression.
That
was... Oh, I don't know if you have done this yet, but we both work in retail, so we all have to deal with...
I'm a deep-sea diver, remember?
Ah, right. But you have to deal with asshole fish all the time.
Yes. Technically, I do work in retail because I sell scuba gear to people. Words. Like, we're just awful with words, but I sell scuba stuff to people all the time in between my deep-sea diving expeditions.
Yeah, and I sell drugs. So.
Yes. You are a drug dealer. You are the town's drug dealer because we're from a small town, and, there's only...
A small town in Connecticut.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Not Connecticut. Connecticut.
Connecticut.
Naked.
Canucks.
Captain Knuckles from
Captain
Flapjack.
Knuckles. I was thinking more of like Knuckles from Sonic.
Ah, that Knuckles.
We should do a Sonic episode.
No. Anything but that.
We play some Sonic games and then just do an episode.
But anyway, like, I don't know if you do this, but whenever I am, like, tallying out how much this person's getting, and I'm like, well, there's that, you got a gram of that, you got an ounce of that, your total comes up to $18.50, and then I think, $18.50, that was a pretty good year, right?
I do that a lot, too. Like, I'll think of someone will say, like, a number that, like, and I'll be like, good year. Like, and I have no idea if it was a good year or not.
Except one time, I forgot what happened in 1944 or 43. When was it?
One of the World War years.
Yeah, and I just said, "Yeah, that was a great year." And they looked at me and they're like, "My mother was a Holocaust victim," and I was like, have a nice day.
And then you ran off with your drugs.
Yeah,
You see, in such a small town, you're the only drug dealer. So no matter what you do, you won't be arrested because we need that balance of power.
Yeah, I gave them extra, so they just would stop talking to me.
Right.
Speaking of, make sure you drink another drink of your drink.
I haven't drank one drink of my drink.
I know, and that's why you're still talking.
Oh.
I mean...
But anyway, yeah, like, talking about work stuff, this was something I came to a realization, was I don't like seeing people that I know at my work, like, on the deep-sea dives.
Yeah, right.
Like, I'll just see them, like, on the beach or something. I don't like it because it's the exact same conversation every time I see them. Because
you're the NPC.
No matter, yes, I am.
Mm-hmm.
It's no
Welcome,
matter,
traveler!
no matter who... It is, no matter how, like, what level of knowing them I have. Like, there were some people who, I saw our friend Matt, like, yesterday.
Right, he told me about that.
Yeah. And then, like, sometimes I'll see a guy, and he'll say, oh, hey, Brooks. And I'll be like, I know the face. I know that he knows me, because he just called me by name, like, without seeing my name tag. So I know that he knows me. I don't know, and I know him. I don't know what. I don't know what his name is. So I'm going to see if in our conversation, like, it will come up and enough context clues for me to know what his name is. And there weren't, because it was the same fucking conversation that I have with everybody, where it's like, oh, so you're working as a deep-sea diver now? I'm just like, yeah. Oh, that's cool. So what have you been up to this summer? I'm just like, the usual, a lot of time spent here, a lot of time, hanging with friends. And he's like, how about you? It's like, oh, yeah. Same stuff, work, hang with friends. I'm just like, oh, cool. Can I help you find some scuba gear or something? And it's like, no, I'm fine. And so they're just like, okay, so nice talking to you. Bye. Same conversation. Doesn't matter who it is. It was that exact same thing.
Oh.
Every time.
All right, so I guess that is how we'll end this episode. By saying, all right, see you, thanks.
We need a better thing. You said you had a sign-off.
I do have a sign-off.
That wasn't funny, but would become funny through repetition.
And we have to do it this exact same way every single time. Ends up in the air. It's going to be the signature way we do this.
Do you want me to cut it off right after this?
No,
yes. Do you have anything else you want to talk about before we get into this?
No, because I do. We could probably keep talking for another several hours, but I feel like that long amount of time is going to make all four people look at this and go,
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, I could just be watching Ant-Man in this amount of time.
Yeah,
Or
I could watch Pixels several times in this amount of time
while vomiting.
while vomiting profusely.
All right, so I'm looking directly into the mic.
Hang on, before you say that, we have to share it around. So you can find us at like whatever I choose the name to be. It's gonna be that name at gmail.com, and it'll be that name for the SoundCloud, and find us on iTunes, rate us,
give us a like, or, just, I don't know how
subscribe. I don't know how it works.
Doesn't know either.
You can find, we'll probably set up a Twitter for it, and maybe a Facebook if more than 4 people.
No Facebook, we're not going that far down.
Okay, we're not going that far.
No,
okay.
We're not that far, but maybe a Pinterest. But I'm not stooping back to Facebook.
If more than 5 people listen, we may get a Pinterest.
Including us or excluding us?
Excluding us.
Dang.
Because we already know what's on the Pinterest.
I have 3 Pinterest accounts to get the best deals.
Okay, you can find me Brooks on Twitter at Squeezy McCheesy. That is I came up with that name a while ago. I'm just I'm sticking with it. Everything across the board, Squeezy McCheesy. You don't have a Twitter, do you?
I don't. No, I should probably make one. I'll make it Brave Snuggles.
Brave Snuggles, good.
Brave Snuggles!
Good. We'll maybe explain that one day. But as for right now, we're just doing the sign-off. So, yeah, you can find us at those places. And we'll have more details for you in the next episode. Hopefully next week.
All right.
Or next 2 weeks, depending on if we can make the next episode.
Schedules are weird. But you know what isn't weird? How we're going to sign this off.
Okay, I'm open to this.
It's going to be hands in the air. Wave them like you just don't care. And then you got to look a person in the eyes right next to you. They might be in the other room. You got to look at them in the living room. Give them that slight nod. Wait until they actually look back at you. Give them that nod again. Then you look back at the computer screen. And then you realize, well, that's the end of the podcast. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Wow.